What up, guys? It's KARNASER here, and we're back in the studio. Today, we're gonna be remixing an amazing hit song by Tones and I. As you all know it's called Dance Monkey. Today, we're gonna be remixing the song into a kind of Oriental deep house vibe, like Deeperise, my favorite Oriental deep house artist from Turkey. Shout out to other amazing producers from Turkey too, Hakan Akus, Mahmoud Orhan, and from Lebanon, Anthony Kairouz, my friend, a super amazing artist. So as you know, guys, this is my third tutorial, but my first one, as I'm recording myself, digging deep into what I've done in the project, inspiring you to do something similar probably. I really want to show you what I've been doing since the past 2 years to gain all this experience. So I'm gonna be introducing myself. My name is Karim Nasreddine. It sounds a bit cringy saying it in an American accent for Lebanese people, but you can call me KARNASER as my artist name is. So I started music production when I was 17 years old. Alright, so I've been digging deep into the technical stuff of music production, learning more about sound engineering, sound design, and other really interesting stuff since the past year. I'm gonna talk now about the people who always complain, I don't have the enough gear, I don't have the enough instruments to start my thing, or to have a better song, a better production. What I'm showing you now, I really didn't use except this laptop, MacBook Pro. It's not even high specs, it's Core i5, 8GB RAM, nothing really fancy, and headphones, Audio-Technica ATH M50X. That's all what I use. I'm recording this video with my iPhone XS, recording with these AirPods. That's all what you need. Don't put excuses. Alright guys, without further ado, let's dig right into the project. Alright guys, so the key of this song is F sharp minor, and taking that into consideration, I came up with these chords. First, I used the Rods preset from the FLPs and played some effects on it, such as EQing and reverb and some stereo imaging. Then I layered it with the piano, a contact library called Emotional Piano, and placed some effects on it, such as sound goodizer and some reverb. Then we layered it with another piano sound to give it the fullness and the hardness. I chose the piano preset from the FLPs just to make it hit much harder, and placed some sound goodizer for compression and some reverb. Then we start building a warm atmosphere for the song, like the strings I've used here. Now as for the strings, I use the contact library by Symphony Essentials. It includes really high quality string samples, and I placed some effects, as you can see. Then layered with some dreamy atmospheric choir to fill the space and give some fullness for the stereo image. Now as for the choir, I layered 2 choir samples and placed shit ton of reverb on them with some effects, as you can see here. Alright, so then I came up with this arpeggiated melody using a dreamy marimba sound. As for the marimba, I used the contact library called Memory Box, a really high quality sampled library, and I placed some reverb on it with some side chaining. Then to give it an Oriental vibe, I added a duduk. Let's listen to it. And I use the Duduk from the Ethnology library on Contact, and it's an amazing library that includes so many ethnic instruments, especially from the Middle East, and plays some reverb on it. So to fill the low frequency spectrum, I use the sub bass. Usually the low frequencies are frequencies you feel more than you hear. Alright, so let's listen. Alright, so in the drop, I neglected the piano because it took so much frequencies, and I really didn't want to mess things up in the frequency spectrum. So let's listen to the rods alone. As for the rods used in the drop, I used additive keys and placed kickstart on it for the sidechain. And then I added some strings to the drop to give it the atmosphere. But of course, to let the kick pump in, I used the kickstart. Now coming for the Duduk used in the drop, I used this melody that spiced up the mix. Listen to it. Alright, so talking about the bass, it's one of the most important elements in any deep house track. It should really be rigid and powerful just to make you feel it really well. So that's what I came up with. Let's listen to it. Now back to the sub bass. Please don't forget to put it in the drop, thinking that the bass alone would fill up the very low frequencies. Let's listen to it. Alright, so to add more Oriental vibes to the drop, I added this oud sound. So let's listen to it. And I used this contact library called Turkish Oud for the oud used in the drop, placing on it some stereo imaging and some distortion using RC20. Now another oud melody, let's listen to it too. Then I added an ethnic flute called Bawu. I think it's kind of Chinese, but can be relatable to Oriental instruments. Let's listen to it. I used this Chinese winds library from Contact called Bawu and placed some reverb on it too. And then I added the guitar to the last two sections of the drop. You probably won't hear it because I've lowered its volume in the drop, but you can feel the slaps in it. Now let's listen to the acapella. I got it from Google. It's a bit less than decent. I wasn't that satisfied with it because it had some bad frequencies in it. Wasn't like pure studio a cappella, but I tried to fix it with mixing as much as possible.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. Dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do.
As for the drums, I used the kick layered by a top kick and some claps layered above each other, around 5 claps with a snare with them, some percussion loops and shakers to give the drop some more movement and fill the high frequencies in it with the shakers. And talking about the high frequencies, I've added a sidechained white noise placed on a low volume just to give it more shine and give the song more energy. Without it, the song would be a bit more dull. So that's a really good trick to brighten your song. And not to forget the hi-hats, they give the drums all the movement. They're a very essential part of any deep house track. Let's listen to it. And not to forget everything else, which includes percussion, sweeps, built-up loops, anything that gives the song life and uniqueness. They just narrate the story of the song. Without them, the song would be so dull and so straight to the point without any movement. So let's listen to it. Alright guys, so a really powerful mixing trick for you is after you're finishing around 80% of the mixing, just export the stems from your original project and open them into a new project with all the wave files in it, and just try to spice them up, and it really helps your mix to get up onto another level. Let's see how I did it here.
As we can see here in the mixing FLP file, we have all the exported wave files from the original instruments used in the original FLP file. This helps in mixing and making like a really stable version for your song. Another tip for exporting your wave file is to decrease the buffer length to 1 millisecond before exporting. This will help prevent any pop-ups at the beginning or any delays at some places, especially if your project is large. Just put it at 1 millisecond only in case you are exporting, but never put it when you're like editing or working on your project, because most probably the project would lag so much and won't work.
Okay guys, so now we're gonna be diving into the mastering process. I'll be talking about it briefly, but you can download the FLP file down in the description just to go more into details, and let's go.
Here's the exported mixing wave file and the mastering FLP file, and placed on it some effects, mostly ozone effects like equalization and EQing, dynamics. reaching the maximizer, which brings up the total volume of their mix.
Alright guys, it's the moment, and now we're gonna listen to this song in 3, 2, 1, go.
They say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really looking forward to do much more things similar to this or even cooler. Just please leave a comment down below for your favorite genre or any genre you want me to produce. Anything you want, challenges, tips, tricks, comment it down below. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel please. Thank you.